watching Big 2, KMID TV, Midland, Odessa. Now, live from Midland, Odessa's news leader, Big 2 News Weekend Update.
Good evening, everyone. The battle cry in Washington today was the right to choose.
They came by the hundreds of thousands to send a message to the Supreme Court and to the world. That message was spoken loud and clear. They said a woman's right to have an abortion should never be taken away. ABC's John Bascom tells us about one of the biggest rallies our capital has ever seen.
It was billed in advance as the greatest march on Washington for feminist rights. Organizers say over 500,000 turned out to march and chant and demonstrate for the freedom to choose an abortion. The Equal Rights Amendment was also a goal of this march, but faded in importance as the Supreme Court announced it would hear a Missouri case this month that may reverse Roe versus Wade and severely restrict the right to have an abortion. The president of the National Organization for Women, Molly Yard, called the gathering a political army and said this is just the beginning.
Tomorrow, many of us will gather here at 8 o'clock to start a lobby on Congress. And we are going to say to Congress, we are sick and tired of every anti-abortion amendment and rider you put on women's rights legislation, including the Equal Rights Amendment.
The rally brought out some high-profile women from the entertainment industry. Sybil Shepherd was there. So was Morgan Fairchild, Veronica Hamill, and Whoopi Goldberg, who had a warning for the Supreme Court when it comes to legalized abortions.
If you overturn this decision, a cry of murder is going to come up in this nation and tumble the Capitol. A cry so loud that you won't know what hit you. And I predict that like Pharaoh's firstborn, your daughters will be the first to go. So it is written, so it will be done.
While pro-choice advocates know the Supreme Court won't be moved by a crowd, they do believe if that crowd is enormous, as this one was, their cause can't be ignored. Troubadour Judy Collins lent a little flavor of the 60s with her singing.
Amazing grace.
The Supreme Court is due to reconsider the abortion issue beginning April 26th. John Bascom, ABC News, Washington.
The day didn't belong totally to pro-choicers, however.
Anti-abortionists were also in Washington, D.C. Nearly 300 right-to-lifers stood along the route of the pro-choice rally. Pro-life organizers say they're not about to let today's events go unnoticed.
It is a sad day for America that many people would be out in this kind of cause. It not only trivializes the very foundations on which this country was founded, but it insults those who gave their lives for our freedom.
Anti-abortionists also set up a mock cemetery on the Washington Mall to represent the number of children killed each day by abortions. A Right to Life group denied setting an abortion clinic on fire this morning. This is what's left of the All-Women's Health Center in Ocala, Florida. Fire officials say the blaze was intentionally set, and as you can see, the building is a total loss. This is the second fire at the same clinic in less than a month. Investigators say it looks as though the same group set both fires.
An explosion in a laundry room sparked a huge motel fire in Montana. You can see the flames shooting through this three-story lodge in Billings. More than 100 people were staying at the motel. 3 were injured, and 1 man is unaccounted for tonight. A natural gas leak is probably what started the morning fire. Nobody's sure what caused a medical helicopter to crash in Houston this morning. This life flight chopper went down shortly after taking off from Herman Hospital. Witnesses say the helicopter came straight down, spinning out of control. It crashed 150 feet from its landing pad. A pilot, paramedic, and a nurse were aboard. All 3 are in serious condition tonight with spinal injuries. A law that would protect motorcycle riders is getting a lot of attention tonight.
About 5,000 people rallied at the state capitol in Austin to protest a bill that could force them to wear helmets. The angry bikers say unless something drastic is done soon, they may be forced to abide by a law they say would be unconstitutional.
Now, at this time, there's a very strong concern about this issue. And I think this is making a very strong statement. El Paso, about 100 riders, and that's a strong statement. That's 1,200 miles round trip. Wichita Falls, Texarkana, Beaumont, San Antonio. I mean, from the periphery of the state.
The mandatory helmet law bill swept through the House and Senate last week. Now, even though the bill must go back through the Senate, Governor Clements is expected to sign it into law. Well, this group of nature lovers would like to see a law banning the mass cutting of timber in national forests. About 500 people gathered to protest the cutting of trees on government lands.
Around almost every one. They came in a giant hurry. Now, these trees were not under any kind of an attack. They died from drought.
This is the 10th annual powwow against the deforestation of the environment.
The environment in Alaska has taken a beating since that huge oil spill, but there is some good news tonight. The portion of the slick headed toward the fishing port of Kodiak Island is starting to break up. But as Mike von Fremd reports, the danger to our largest fishing port is far from over.
State officials said today that Exxon has failed to properly deploy and maintain the containment boom around the crippled tanker, and a new leak of oil may have escaped.
Apparently it was hanging up on the bow and lifted up out of the water, and there was also a light sheen noted in the area.
Oil from the original spill is now just 4 miles from Esther Island, where there is great concern for the largest salmon hatchery in North America. The inlet has been sealed off with booms, but fishery technicians are skeptical.
We don't know if these booms will work. If the wind kicks up, will it blow it over? Will the booms sink? What will happen? It's new. We just don't know.
Whether the booms hold or not, the baby salmon have matured to the size that they will have to be released into the Sound beginning in the next 2 weeks.
If the environment in which we release them into is contaminated, then of course that's going to put them at risk and could conceivably, kill a lot of fish.
To the south, a dead gray whale washed ashore today on an oily beach. Though biologists say the whale probably died of natural causes, it is the first spotted since the spill, and questions have been raised about whether oil was a contributing factor. It points up a dilemma Exxon could well face for years, because many here now presume the company guilty of causing everything until proven innocent. Mike von Fremd, ABC News, Valdez.
Coming up next, social and economic pressures are taking a toll on men.
And more men are seeking counseling because of it. Medical Watch is on the way.